You are listening to High Hope Sportscast with me, DJ. This is a podcast covering the Minnesota Vikings. Yes, the purple and gold skull. I talk about everything Vikings, scores, stats, my opinions, anything purple and gold. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the show on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and you can listen to all of my episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, and other platforms for your podcasting. All right, let's go. Welcome back to High Hope Sportscast, everyone. This is season 3, episode 20. And as you might know, unless you're just listening, I am doing video again. So it's just something that I guess I decided on. I am planning on possibly starting up another podcast, non-sports one. So I felt like getting back onto StreamYard was kind of the best way. So anyways, haven't had an episode for a while. I like I said before that I might not cover the divisional games or the championship games. So here we are. You guys will see this Friday evening. I'm not sure if I'll release the audio only before that, but yeah, I'm recording Wednesday afternoon. So yeah, we got our matchup in the Super Bowl this Sunday, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. But before I get to a little bit of Super Bowl talk, I don't have very much. There's just some other things in the NFL I kind of want to get to before that, and that is mainly including all the coaching moves that has been made so far. And I got a ticker here for the video only part of it. So to kind of start off, we got the former Denver Broncos head coach, only lasted 1 year there in Denver, Nathaniel Hackett. He is fired after that blowout loss on national television to the Rams. He goes to the New York Jets to be their offensive coordinator. And after that, I kind of thought, hey, well, he was the OC over there in Green Bay before getting that Denver job. So I was like, I wonder if he's going to try and get Aaron Rodgers over there. But a little more on Rodgers a little bit later. It sounds like there's another team that might be there in talks for Aaron Rodgers other than the Jets. But and then the former Indianapolis Colts head coach Frank Reich, he gets hired as the Carolina Panthers' next head coach. And that they were kind of quick to hire him. I felt like there wasn't much time, after the season. They didn't take much time interviewing many people for the head coach. So they must have really liked him and just jumped on it and hired him right away. So then Dallas defensive coordinator Dan Quinn. Last year he did this same thing. There was a lot of interest last year for him to be a head coach, and this year Indianapolis, Denver, Arizona, they all had interest in him being their next head coach. But he, for a second year in a row, he is staying in Dallas to continue on with as their defensive coordinator. Just like last year, he said got unfinished business. So and he's got that Cowboys defense really good over there. So I mean I don't blame him. But I mean, he has been a head coach in this league before. I believe he was the one that brought Atlanta to the Super Bowl, the 28-3 game. But yeah, I just it's got to be a pretty good gig as a coordinator to turn down multiple opportunities to be a head coach in the league. So yeah. Then ex Jets offensive coordinator, the Jets and Mike LaFleur, they mutually agreed to part ways. He is going to Los Angeles to be the Rams offensive coordinator for Sean McVay now. So kind of stepping into that Kevin O'Connell spot there in Los Angeles after well, I don't really know who their offensive coordinator was this last year after O'Connell left, but now it will be Mike LaFleur. And the next one, it's kind of one of the bigger ones. It's actually the one that I'm actually most excited to see how it plays out. Is now former 49ers defensive coordinator D'Amico Ryans. He gets hired to be the Houston Texans' next head coach. I think that was like a 6-year deal or something like that. So he definitely, I'm sure he'll be looking at that quarterback position. And I thought maybe, with how San Francisco's quarterback situation is, they got Jimmy G, they got Brock Purdy, they got Trey Lance. D'Amico Ryans being with San Francisco for so long, hey, maybe he tries and gets Jimmy G over there in Houston with him. I mean, that would make sense. But I guess we'll see. They do have I think, the second overall pick, just behind Chicago. So he could end up drafting a really good quarterback in this upcoming draft as well. And if Chicago isn't gonna trade the number one pick, and they keep that number one pick, Chicago's not gonna take a quarterback because they have Justin Fields. So I'm sure they'll be watching that, I guess, depending on who they want, and who knows, maybe they will want to get Jimmy G or maybe Derek Carr. Who knows? But I'm actually really excited to see how D'Amico Ryans handles the Texans, and I'm kind of hoping for a turnaround there. So, and then before I get to that one, ex-Arizona head coach, and this year he was the Panthers' interim head coach after Matt Rule got fired. Steve Wilkes. San Francisco did not waste any time finding a new defensive coordinator. Steve Wilkes is now the new defensive coordinator in San Francisco. So they didn't waste any time filling D'Amico Ryan's spot. And the big one, before I get to the Vikings part of the coaching moves, the big one is Sean Payton. Now he had retired, he took a year off or whatever, and then he, throughout the season there was talks about him coming back and coaching. We all knew that he was interested in that Cowboys position, but we didn't know what was going to happen with Mike McCarthy. But and he still has he still had a contract or something. He was still tied to New Orleans. So he does go to Denver to be the Broncos head coach. And that was a trade between New Orleans and Denver to send Sean Payton there. I don't remember exactly what those trade details were, I know that there was um, some draft picks. So uh, I can't say that I personally am excited to see this because I don't like Sean Payton at all. As you know, as a Vikings fan, just a bounty gate and you know, running Alvin Kamara for 6 rushing touchdowns on a nationally televised game on Christmas Day, and I mean, I just don't like the guy. Paul Allen calls him the anti-Vite, and I just I I'm not excited to see him back in the league at all. Um, me and my buddy were talking about this, and he's like, "Oh, I guess I gotta start hating the Broncos now because Sean Payton's there." So, um, kind of won't be rooting for the Broncos anymore. So, um, and then to get to Minnesota, um, we fired Ed Donatel. I don't remember if I had covered that in the last episode or not, but right after the season, before the season even ended, a bunch of Vikings fans were just calling for Ed Donatel to be fired and this and that. It did happen. Um, and Minnesota did take their time. So they interviewed a list of people, and here they are. So first we had Ryan Nielsen. He was from New Orleans. He did not. Well, obviously he didn't come here. He went to Atlanta. And then Sean Desai from Seattle. He withdrew himself from the running for Minnesota's defensive coordinator. Um, I don't know how to pronounce his first name. Ijaro Ivero from Denver. He was kind of one of the top ones, I think, for Minnesota, but he goes to Carolina. And then Mike Pettin, Minnesota's assistant head coach. He is staying in Minnesota as the assistant head coach as of now. I haven't heard anything different, but that is because the next one, former Miami head coach and Pittsburgh advisor, a linebackers coach from last year, Brian Flores. They hired him. What day was it? Monday. I think it might have been Monday that the Vikings officially hired Brian Flores as their defensive coordinator. Now, it's kind of interesting because he was uh, called for a second interview to be the Cardinals head coach. But I haven't heard anything that he didn't get the job. Like they said, hey, we're gonna go to a different way or whatever. But it kind of sounds like he turned it down and he decided to come here to be our defensive coordinator instead. So um, it's just kind of interesting. Maybe he thought, he looked at Arizona and he's like, well, it's probably not the best situation there for me to walk into. So that could have a part in it. I don't know. But there was some points that are pretty valid, and I don't know how to feel about it. I'm really excited for Brian Flores to be here. I'm really excited to see our defense next year. Last year I was so excited to see the team as a whole, but more the offense because of Kevin O'Connell being offensive. So now next year, I'm looking forward to the defensive side. Brian Flores likes to blitz a lot, so I'm hoping that this defense can get turned around in a hurry. So, but with that, there's points to be made that, if Flores turns his defense around and is really good, next year we could be doing this all over again and looking for another defensive coordinator. And because someone might want him as a head coach. So, um, if not next year, the year after or whatever. And, if they're not looking for him for a head coach next year, that probably means that our defense wasn't very good again. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, I guess, to say. But I guess we'll see. There's he could just say no. I'm staying in Minnesota. Dan Quinn's done it. I believe Eric Bieniemy has turned down head coaching positions in the last couple seasons to stay with Kansas City. So I guess we'll just we'll take this season, see what happens, and then after next season ends, I guess we'll just see what unfolds after that. So, but in the meantime, I am excited for Brian Flores to be here, and he's an aggressive coach, I believe, and I hope he gets this defense turned around, and I just hope that we're gonna have enough players defensively left to have a good defense, because I believe that the Vikings are gonna have to cut ties with a lot of good players, players that have been here for all of their careers so far, and this and that. But I mean, we got to pay JJ. We got to figure out how to do that. We're already under or over the salary cap. It did go up this year, but we still gotta um, find some money there if it's restructuring contracts, people taking pay cuts, trades, and then speaking of trades, while we're on the Vikings topic, there's been a lot of talks about Kirk Cousins, his new contract he signed last year. He does have a no trade clause in there. So if they wanted to trade him, he would have to waive it himself. He can just say, no, I'm not getting traded. And then, he's got to stay. But back in Washington, where Kirk was drafted, he was with Kyle Shanahan. And now, ultimately, Kyle Shanahan is the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers. And now San Francisco looks to have a quarterback problem. In the championship game, Brock Purdy was already their third quarterback, and he gets injured. And then, that Johnson came in, he got injured, and McCaffrey had to be quarterback. So we just don't know what the future holds for Jimmy Garoppolo. We don't know. I don't know if Brock Purdy will be able to start week 1 next year. I don't know if they were considering starting Brock Purdy next year. I don't know, but I do know that Kyle Shanahan has wanted Kirk Cousins for a very long time. And I believe that back in 2018, when we ultimately got Kirk Cousins, I think that Kyle Shanahan would have gone after him. But if there was a time where San Francisco was going to offer a trade for Kirk Cousins, I feel like it would be right now, this offseason, just because of their quarterback situation right now. So, I mean, I don't know. Would Kirk Cousins waive his no trade clause to go to San Francisco with Shanahan? There's a lot of people saying that that scheme over there that they run offensively, that Kirk would fit in great. So and then what would they offer us? I mean, um, you'd think that it would almost have to. And before this, there was talks about the Vikings trading to get Trey Lance, bring the Marshall, Minnesota kid back home. So maybe Trey Lance would be in that trade package. I don't know. Um, but it would be interesting to see what they would offer if they are or will. I don't know. But I guess we'll see. That would clear up a lot of cap space. Um, but I'm not gonna say I want it to happen one way or another. But it's just something to think about and something to look for in the future. So it's just kind of interesting. Um, and then a couple of players have retired. To start off, Tom Brady retired again, and I think it was what was it, February 1st or February 2nd, one of the two, February 1st or February 2nd of 2022. He announced his retirement, but then he came back for another year. Exactly 1 year later, the 1st or 2nd of February of this year, 2023, he announced he was retiring um, again. So Rob Gronkowski, I don't know, on Twitter, he congratulated him and welcomed him to the 2 times retired club. um, and someone out there figured out exactly what beach he was on in his retirement video. Filled up a jar of sand from that beach, and as last I heard, they're selling that jar of sand for, I think it was up to like $90,000 on eBay. It's just ridiculous. I don't. um, but we knew last year when Brady first retired that he was gonna join. He's gonna join Fox for a broadcasting job for, it was 10 years, $370 million or something like that. But he did tell them recently that he will not join Fox until 2024. So that will be not this coming season, but the following. So then after I heard that, I was like, instantly, I was like, oh, he's still making it open for him to come back again. So, when I first heard that his second retirement, and I was like, I kind of laughed, and I'm like, I literally will believe it when I don't see him on a roster week 1. I don't believe it until I see it. So, I guess we'll see if he stays retired or if he decides to come back. And the second notable retirement is wide receiver AJ Green. After 12 years, he started it off at Cincinnati Bengals, and then most recently, the last few years, as an Arizona Cardinal. I remember him when he was a Bengal, and he was damn good receiver. So I unfortunately he didn't get uh, a Super Bowl ring, but he did have one heck of a career. So, yeah. So, and then I went over that. Another weird thing with Aaron Rodgers. Go figure, weird. So last year there was talks about Aaron Rodgers not being a Packer, him retiring, blah blah blah. he came back as a Packer or whatever. This year I don't. Well, last year I said that I don't think he'll be coming back to the Packers, but he did. This year I do believe he will not be in green and gold at all. He's kind of actually expressed that already, and so has the team. I believe that they would rather go a different way. Um, so he doesn't. Rogers doesn't know if he's even going to come back, so he's still contemplating retirement, I believe. I just heard last night that Rogers had said that he's going to go on a 4-day, 4-night dark retreat. So he's going to be in this room in complete darkness for that long. He said that there's going to be somehow people will give him food and this and that. Nothing, no one else, no TV, no phone, nothing. And he's going to kind of reflect and he's going to, make his decision on that. I mean, I don't know. I guess I've never heard of a dark retreat. It's just kind of weird. I when I thought about it, I was like, be in the dark for that long. Once you come out, any kind of light is gonna it's just gonna torture your eyes. Just man, that would suck. But maybe it's relaxing. I don't know. But there's been talks, and Devontae Adams has kind of joked around on Twitter about Aaron Rodgers coming to Las Vegas to reunite with him. So, there's talks that Derek Carr will probably not be a Raider next year. So that's the other team that I said that it kind of stands in the way of maybe it won't be the Jets. At this point right now, I believe that Aaron Rodgers probably will be a Raider next year. So, but then what's next for Green Bay? Do they do they go with Jordan Love? Do they go get Derek Carr? Or what something else? I haven't heard. I don't know. Maybe they're waiting for Rodgers. But even though they already said that they would rather go in a different way, so I don't know. If it was me, I don't know if I would go with Jordan Love. I haven't really seen much of him. They did. I think they moved up to get him in whatever year he was drafted. I know Aaron Rodgers was pissed. I believe ever since Jordan Love has been drafted, Aaron Rodgers has been like really different. That just came to my mind right now. That I just realized that like ever since Jordan Love has been drafted by the Packers, Aaron Rodgers has been different. I don't know if anyone else has realized that or not, but I just did. So yeah, I don't I really don't know about the Derek Carr situation. I don't really know why Las Vegas would move on from him. I've always liked Derek Carr. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't get to watch many Raiders games, just the ones that are nationally televised, and so I don't really think he's a bad quarterback. So I don't know what the situation is over there in Las Vegas, but I just feel like he's getting the short end over there. And yeah. So with that, I I don't have much for the Super Bowl. Um, but I said, you know, in the beginning of the show, it is the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. Um, Patrick Mahomes, it'll be his third Super Bowl. He has been in the AFC Championship the last 5 years. Every year he has played in the AFC Championship game at home. Um, this is the Eagles' second Super Bowl in was it like 5 years or something like that? They won it back in 2018, Super Bowl 52. So um, the kind of one of the headlines of this Super Bowl is this is the first time ever that there will be a black quarterback on each team to play against each other. So it's kind of making history in Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes. So I did hear yesterday that um, all Chiefs players practiced, including Kadarius Toney. Can't remember. God, I can't remember the other ones. But yeah, that's a good sign for the Chiefs that all the players practiced, and I haven't heard much on the Eagles if they have any injuries or not. Um, I know that. Let's see. Um, well, we know that Jalen Hurts. Earlier in the season he had that arm injury, and but in the playoffs he didn't. It didn't seem like that bothered him at all or anything. So it should be good to go. And they're man, that Eagles defense is tough. They are. I don't remember if they were the top defense or San Francisco, one or the other. But in that championship game, that Reddick guy, number 7 on the Eagles, he's just a crazy good freaking defense player. Oh my god. He was getting after the quarterback, breaking through that offensive line like crazy. So you know, if anyone knows me out there, you know I'm rooting for the Chiefs, and you know that I dislike the Eagles. So I'm gonna say I'm hoping that the Chiefs offensive line can hold up and keep Patrick Mahomes safe, especially him kind of having a banged up ankle. So yeah, it's like I said, I don't have much coverage on the Super Bowl. Um, just been kind of busy lately. I've been watching Super Bowl live here, uh, off and on. But yeah, um, so maybe I'll just kind of do a thing like I did last year for the Super Bowl show, I guess. There's one question I remember, is what color Gatorade will it be that will be poured on the winning coach? Now last year, I believe I picked yellow, and it was yellow, I believe. Um, this year, I haven't really thought about what color I'd pick. I I want to say it'll be yellow again. I did hear that that is like the most popular Gatorade in sports. So I think I'm gonna go with yellow again. Um, Either yellow or blue, but I think I'm gonna go with yellow. So and I guess my prediction for the Super Bowl. Um, let's see here. I think my prediction will be Kansas City winning. Let's say I'll say 31 to 28. 31 to 28 Chiefs. It's going to be a close one. Um, yeah, like I said, I don't have much, but I did want to, uh, I guess, kind of cover the Super Bowl. I told you guys I would, so I didn't want to go back on my word. Um, but the next time, the next episode will be after the Super Bowl. It'll be a little more, a little better as I'll cover the actual game, and it'll be more in depth. So I don't have much on either of these teams going into the Super Bowl as of right now. So I apologize for that. Um, so a little shorter episode this time again. Um, but yeah, that's really all I got for you guys this time. And thanks for tuning in. And if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, um, go subscribe and get notified of future episodes. And yeah, follow on social media and uh, yeah, stay up to date with the show. And I'm like I said earlier, I'm thinking about um, doing a new podcast. It won't be a sports one. It's just gonna be kind of a random talk show. My wife might come on it. It's just kind of a random thing. I won't leak the name or anything. I do have a name. I have it all set up. I just haven't started recording any episodes yet. So um, just kind of be on the lookout for that. So yeah. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.